Hello, and welcome back to the channel. So today I kind of want to talk about a topic that I think is pretty important right now because this person that I'm going to be talking about has not dropped an album in 4 years. So the fact that he just did drop an album is really important, not only because his fan base have been waiting so long for any kind of musical sign that he's alive, but also because this album is supposed to be his most deep and introspective and vulnerable and personal album that he's ever released and possibly will ever release. And so I think that's why it's really important to talk about, because this album is very good. So I think it's important to share the message of it because it's such a vulnerable album that I think the fact that it's even out there says a lot about this person's character and their mental strength and ability to be so vulnerable in a project and release it for the entire world of just complete strangers to hear. So I think that's really important to talk about and understand because this is a very influential artist, so I think it's very important. So I am of course talking about Mac Lethal and his most recently released project, which is called Winter Heartbreak II. Now this was released 3 days ago on June 9th, and I've listened to it many times since then because I really quite enjoyed it. I think this album is very good, and it opens up a new perspective into Mac's life that we've never seen before, and something that I doubt we'll ever see again because of just how raw and straight to the point and deep and personable and vulnerable it is. I liked every single track. There's not one that I didn't like. There are some that I liked a lot more than others, but I think every track on this album is really well produced, and it has a really focused and thoughtful message that contributes to the album's broader themes of divorce, isolation, grief, sadness, and depression very brilliantly as a whole. And I think this all really plays into Mac's character as he goes throughout the album. He talks about how 2020 was the worst year of his life in many different ways. His tours got canceled, people close to him died, his wife almost left him, and he was having problems within his family other than that as well. And I think all of that is really told in a very sharp and intelligent way throughout this album, and it's expressed in a very raw and personal way that I've never seen from any other artist before, and it's very emotional. It's pretty emotional album. You can tell Mac essentially metaphorically bled all of his thoughts into it and really tried to make it perfect so that everything would sound amazing, and it does. And I think this raw emotion that he carries throughout every track really makes this album solidified as really good because he sticks to the themes, he makes it good. No song sounds the same. They're not all about the same things. They all just cover the same themes, but in different ways, and they all contribute to one overarching message as a whole. And that message was how terrible last year was for him and how he's working to improve his life right now. And that brings in a sort of inspirational message that I think is also really important because it shows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel for him and for the listener as well, because this album is pretty dark and deep. So yeah, that's basically what the album is. I'm really impressed by his work, and I think this is quite satisfactory considering we haven't had an album or many singles or much activity from him musically in the past 4 years. I think this album really makes up for it. Even though it's not the longest album in the world, it's only 14 tracks in less than an hour. I think it's really good, and I think it kind of shows what Mac has been working on artistically and sonically and lyrically and musically throughout these past 4 years, and how he's obviously improved as an artist, because this is quite an improvement for him. And it's clear that he's not stopping anytime soon. And this is a huge step for him, both personally and musically, because of how hard and difficult it was for him to drop this LP. And I'm proud of him for that. I'm thankful he was so vulnerable and raw to us. And I think it really had a good effect because I loved every track. And I liked how it also stuck to the theme of sort of a Japanese kind of theme, because this was all recorded in Japan. And yeah, and I think the culture of Japan really influenced this album and a lot of the themes and aspects that went into it as a whole, and kind of drove the factors that led Mac to sort of sing and rap about all these extremely vulnerable topics for him. So those are pretty much my thoughts on this. I really love this album, and I'm going to continue to listen to it because I really like it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this album, if you like it or don't like it. But personally, I love it, and I think it's really good. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and to follow me on Instagram and to join my Discord server. The links for both of those are down in the description. Also, make sure to listen to my EP. The link is in the top of the description for that as well. And until tomorrow when I will upload next, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a nice day. Peace.